Good morning, Colin. Nice to see you. To see who else comes along. How many of our parents and children are enjoying this as a weekend off? Colin, while we're waiting for other people to arrive, we're going to get any other people this morning. I just want to remind you of what we have in our members section here with our recorded classes. So there's a whole lot of classes here. If you want to do some extra training over lockdown, skip down to now the children's classes are largely focused on the basics, which are really good for you to do. So you can choose your classes based on what's there. But there's a lot of stuff there to teach you around basic stances and full direction punch and block and so forth. And then the teens and adults classes have just got some more complex stuff on them and often are a little bit of a harder workout. So take your pick, do as many of those as you like. The other thing that's worth looking at here is the syllabus sheets and resources. Firstly, the syllabus videos. So there's little videos that show you all of the fundamental movements that you need to know at each grade. So start with the white belt one, work your way through all the fundamental movements that you need to know, do the same with yellow belt and yellow stripe, and just make your way through those. Spend a little bit of time on them. We're going to correct those stances so that when you're stepping backwards in particular, you're getting a nice walking stance rather than having that back foot pointing sideways. The other thing that can be quite fun to do if you get a little bit bored, there's some great home activities here that you can work through. And these resources have some nice posters that Master Okuda in particular developed that have summaries of some of the key areas of Taekwondo and some of the key pattern meanings. So they're really worth taking a look at as well. So that's all under members, syllabus sheets and resources. And if you also need a little bit of down things to look at, there's a whole lot of Taekwondo magazines sitting here on the web as well. So we've got back issues of our Taekwondo Talk magazine. They're going back probably 20 years together with the online one as well. So heaps of stuff there that you can find to keep yourself amused while you're stuck at home, because I do suspect it will be longer than 1 week. A colleague at work said to me last week, what's the worst thing about a 7-day lockdown? Weeks 3 and 4. Okay, let's assume it's just us. We'll get started and I'll give you some good technical stuff. Oh, what am I doing here? That's good. Okay, to do it. Kill me. Take a look. Raise your right hand and recite the tenets. Courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. And the student oath, I shall observe the tenets of Taekwondo. I shall respect the instructor and seniors. I shall never misuse Taekwondo. I shall be a champion of freedom and justice. I shall build a more peaceful world. And relax. Okay, we're going to work within the space that you've got this morning. Start just rotating your wrists. Get warmed up a bit first. I need to as well. Change direction. Elbows. This is something that you can do when you arrive at training. So remember, we're supposed to arrive at training 10 minutes before class begins. Change direction. The first thing we do when we arrive after storing all of our equipment is just make sure the floor's swept and the equipment's out. And once it is, self warmed up and start practicing. So this is a really good routine to work through. Rotating your joints first. And arms forwards. Feet about a shoulder apart, hands in front of you, and then just turning your torso. Okay, now put your hands on your hips and just rotate one ankle. So put the ball of the foot on the floor and then just rotate around it. Change direction. Change foot. Change direction. And hands on knees. Squatting down. And stand up. Push back. Squat down. And back. Squat down. And down. And back. Down. And back. Down. And back. Okay. Hands up by your jaw and just circling your knee outwards. Come inwards. Nice. Just breathe. And hips gently. Change direction. Okay, a little workout routine to start with. Hands up by your jaw, feet about a shoulder apart. Squat down about 90 degrees, not all the way down now. And stand up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Your weight on your heels, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, we normally only do 10, we're not carried away. Okay, now sit down. Hello, friends. From here, hands touch your ankles. Roll back and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. Oh, another leg come up. Okay. Now lying down, feet straight up in the air. And all we're going to do here is lift our feet up a tiny bit. So lift up the feet using your lower abdomen. 1, 2, 3, 4, morning, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And sitting up. Hey, Taekwon-Do and makgi. Lovely to see you guys this morning. Okay, now, push-up position. We'll only do one round of this, given the audience we've got from here. Body nice and straight. Nose down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And standing up. Okay, change in lesson plan given our audience. We're not going to finish that routine. Okay, from here, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Hands up, guard your brain. And from here, little bounces. When I say forward, just push forward a little bit. Forward. And when I say backward, you use your front leg and push backward. Back. Forward. Back. Forward. Back. Forward. Back. Forward. I'm going to do it facing you now. Back. Forward. Back. Forward. Back. Switch. Forward. Back. 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 Good. And relax. Okay. Now, when we go sideways from this position, if I go that way, I move that leg first. 1, 2. If I go that way, I move this leg first. 1, 2. See how I open my stance, then close it up again. 1, 2. 1, 2. Try that. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Good. Switch sides. Now, if I go that way, I still use this leg first. 1, 2. 1, 2. I don't cross my feet like this. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Switch. Okay. Now we're going to test it. Forward. That way. Backward. That way. So we got a little box. Forward. That way. Backward. That way. Forward. That way. Backward. That way. Good. Switch. Forward. That way. Backward. That way. 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 Good. Switch. Okay. Now, every time we go forward, we're going to punch with the front hand. When we go backward, we're going to punch with the front hand. Okay, so we're just going to go forward and backward for a bit. Ready, forward. Backward. Nice and straight with that front hand. Forward. Backward. Forward. Backward. Forward. Backward. And switch feet. Forward. Backward. Forward. Backward. Forward. Backward. Forward. Backward. Forward. Backward. Good. Okay. Now when we go sideways, we're going to go 1, 2, and then punch with the backhand. Now notice when I punch with the backhand, I step my stance a little bit wider, punch with the backhand, and then make it narrow again, like this. 1, 2, and back. 1, 2. Just do a few of those yourself. 1, 2, and straight back. So I don't just try and turn my shoulders like this because it twists my knee. Step open, push, open and punch, close up. Open and punch, close up. So now we're going to go that way. 1, 2, backhand punch, close up. Now go that way. 1, 2, backhand punch, close up. That way. 1, 2, backhand punch, close up. 1, 2, backhand punch, close up. Good. Now switch. Okay. 1, 2, backhand punch, close up. 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 Good. Now we're going to test your brain. With all the punches, forward and punch. Sideways, back punch. Back, punch. Sideways, backhand punch. Forward and jab. Sideways, reverse punch. Back and jab. Sideways, reverse punch. Forward and punch. Sideways, reverse punch. Back and punch. Sideways, reverse punch. Forward and punch. Sideways and punch. Back and punch. Sideways and punch. Forward and punch. Sideways and punch. Back and punch. Sideways and punch. Good. Switch legs. Okay. Forward and jump. Jab, brother. Sideways, reverse punch. Back and jab. Sideways, reverse punch. Forward and punch. Sideways, reverse punch. Back and punch. Sideways, reverse punch. Forward and punch. Sideways and punch. Back and punch. Sideways and punch. Forward and punch. Sideways punch. Back and punch. Sideways punch. Forward punch. Sideways punch. Back and punch. Sideways punch. Good. Grab a drink. Okay. Everybody grab a chair or something like a chair. Nice. Okay, one hand on the chair, other hand up by your brain, and then with the foot that's in the middle, the one closest to the chair, we're just going to lift it up for a nice front rising kick stretch. One up, two, sit, net, tasa, yasa, uga, yado, aho, yo, hana, yudu. And change legs. Other hand by your brain. Hana. Hu. Sit. Lift it. Net. Tasa. Yasa. Uga. Yado. Aho. Yo. Hana. Do. Good. Okay, now we're going to be a bit more tricky. This time, I'm going to stand this way from my chair. Okay, so I'm standing beside my chair, sideways. I've got both hands on the chair, and the foot that's closest to the chair, I'm going to lift it up sideways, opening up my shoulders. This is side rising kick. Hana. Do. When you kick, your foot is sideways. Sit. Net. Tasat. Yasat. Uga, yado, aho, yo, ahonana, yudu. And now the other foot. Look where you're kicking. Make sure your kicking foot is slightly downward, not sticking up, slightly down. Okay, both hands on the chair, feet pointing this way, away from the chair. Then from here, lift up, hana. Two, sit, net, tasat, yasat, ilga, yano, aho, yo, hana, yudu. Okay. Now, just for a moment, we're going to do those kicks without the chair. So first up, put your left leg back. Walking ready stance. This is a walking ready stance. From here, the front rising kick is a kick that all of you white belts have to know. So everyone has to know this kick. Just like this. Go. Hana. Do. So you should balance after you kick and then back into your walking ready stance with your train tracks, your hips and shoulders forward. Sit. Net. And change feet. Hana. Two, straight up in the middle. Sit. Net. Good. Just going to move my chair out of the way a little bit. Because now the side rising kick. The side rising kick is compulsory for yellow stripes. So yellow stripes and above all have to know this. From here, I'm going to kick that way. I step my foot into the other foot. Oh, actually, to start with, sitting ready stance. So we're in anunsogi, like you're riding a horse. Open your knees out, feet pointing straight ahead. Now, when I step to my other foot, I have to pivot and turn it away from my kick. Transfer my body weight, make a guarding block with my hands, and there's my side rising kick. And then I can sit down into my sitting ready stance. Then I can go the other way for the other leg. Cool. And back the other way. Sit. There. Other way. Tasso. Other way. Yasso. So you've got to keep your shoulders nice and open. Other way. Ilgo. Other way. Yado. Other way. Aho. Other way. Yo. Bottle. So front rising kick and side rising kick, as well as being stretching exercises, they're also blocks. They can be used if your hands aren't there, you can use them to block things. Okay, this way or this way. Now, the last little stretch we're going to do with our chair is not a block. It's just a stretching exercise. Both feet towards the chair. Again, try and keep your legs straight and go straight up behind you and look over your shoulder. 1, 2, sit, there, tasso. Try and keep your legs straight. Yasa, ilgo, yado, aho, yo, and then the other leg. Try and keep your shoulders facing the chair. Hana, tu, sit, there, tasso, yasa, ilgo, yado, aho, yo, good. Now, while we're at that, well, that was a rising kick. As I say, it wasn't really a kick that existed. It was just kind of an exercise to warm up. From here, though, we can do a good kick, a back piercing kick. So put both of our hands on the chair, lift up your leg and lean over a little bit. Then from here, I'm going to stamp straight back. And then bring my leg back underneath me again, and then step down on the ground. So 1, hunch over and lean, look over my shoulder. 2, step back. 3, bring it in. 4, down. Okay, this is a back piercing kick. It's one of the most powerful kicks we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Do the other leg. Looking over the shoulder. 1, hunch over. 2, 3, 4. Make sure you breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And relax. That's a back piercing kick. We're going to do 2 other kicks using our chair. We're going to do the front snap kick, which is compulsory for white belts, and the side piercing kick, which is compulsory for yellow belts. So from here, I'm going to put one hand on my chair, the other hand up on my brain. The hand that's closest to the chair, lift up your, now actually, sorry, I'll demonstrate this first from the floor because the foot position is very important. I'm going to bring my foot up and then extend it out. So my foot is pointed forward and my toes are pulled out of the way. That way I can kick with the ball of my foot, this bottom piece here. That's what I'm kicking with. So very important when you do this kick, your foot's not pulled back and sticking up like this. This is wrong. You don't get any power like this. From here, it's this way. Okay, so everyone sit down now. Put your feet up in the air and pull those toes back and push those ankles forwards. Ankles forwards, toes back. That's your upchagi, upchibashigi. Just on the ground now, try and do some extending in and out like this. Extending it out. Do one leg and then the other. Good. Okay, on your feet. Now we use the chair. Hand by the brain. Ready. Up, out, back, down. Watch that foot angle. Up, out, back, down. Up, out, back, down. Up, out, back, down. Up, out, back, down. Good. Other leg. Up, out, back, down. 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 Good. Now the front snap kick is never done any higher than your own solar plexus, which is about where your arms bend if you hold your arms out like this. So you don't do it higher than that, because otherwise the power goes the wrong way and the kick doesn't work. Okay, the last kick we're going to do with our chair is side piercing kick. So for this one hand on the chair, other hand by my brain. I'm facing forward, my chair's beside me. First thing I'm going to do is pivot. Well, actually, first thing I'm going to do is lift up my other leg. But then the foot that's on the floor is going to turn towards the chair. Notice I lean over now. Then I stamp out. Try and keep your shoulders open. Come back. Bring it back in and pivot and put it on the floor. So 1 is up. 2 is pivot. 3 is stamp out, open your shoulders. 4, bring it back in. 5, pivot. 6 is back down. Okay, ready? Up, pivot, out, back, pivot, down. Up, pivot, out. Other hand by your face, back, pivot, down. Keep that other hand up. Up, pivot, out, back, pivot, down. Good, Cohen. Up, pivot, out, back, pivot, down. Now relax for a moment. Again, I just want to show you the foot position for this. So this one, I'm trying to pull my foot back this way. Okay, pull my foot back this time. And I'm sideways. So with my foot pulled back, I'm heading with this bottom edge of my foot. This is called my foot sword. So I have to pull my toes back out of the way. I can't push my toes forward like this. It doesn't work. I've got to pull my toes right back so that I can stamp with that foot sword. And at the moment you extend the kick, it's slightly downward, just like this. Not sticking up like this. Downward and pull back. My big toe pulled right out of the way so I can use that foot sword. Okay. Same side, we'll do a couple more. Ready. Back on the chair. Up. Pivot. Out. Come on, Tangaroa. Back. Pivot. Down. Up. Pivot. Stamp out. Back. Pivot. Down. Good. Now to the other leg. Hand up by your brain. Up. Pivot. Out. Back. Pivot. Down. Up. When you pivot here, lift your knee and foot nice and high as you can. Both knee and foot. Step out. Back. Pivot. Down. Up. Pivot. Mikade, lift that knee as well. Lift the knee and the foot. this way, sideways. Not down like this. Lift it up. Out. Back. Pivot. Down. Up. Pivot. Out. Back. Pivot. Down. Up. Pivot. Out. Back. Pivot. Down. Up. Pivot. Out. Back. Pivot. Down. One more. Up. Pivot. Out. Back. Pivot. Down. Good stuff. Get ready to your chair and grab a little drink. Okay. Now, parallel ready stance. Beat. We're going to put our right leg back. Walking ready stance. Beat. Now from here, mikaore and tangaroa, just get a little bit of space between you. That's it. And step back a little bit because we're going to kick forwards and I don't want you to kick your telly. From here, up to Vashihi, the front snap kick. Okay, so kick, cross, down. Bring your knee up, extend out, tool. Now, after we kick, just watch for a moment. We'll do a little spring of the knee to help us relax. Spring down, up, down. Just helps me to relax. Which helps me to get all the power from my body. Okay, ready? Hana. When you kick, you can either keep your hands here or bring them up by your brain. Tool. Sit. Net. Tasa. Yasa. Bottom. Left leg back. Beat. Hana. Tool. Set. Net. Remember to breathe. Tasa. Yasa. Ilga. Yado. And Baro, just come and sit down for a moment. In fact, I want you to kneel down. Kneel down on the floor. Now, with every movement in Taekwondo, you breathe out with a short, sharp breath. There are a number of reasons for this. One of it is if you don't breathe, what happens? You die, right? It's important. You've got to breathe. Okay, breathing is super important. The second thing is your muscles need oxygen to work. So when we control our breathing, we can get all the oxygen out to our muscles so the muscles can be explosive and do strong movements. The third thing is that short, sharp breath means that your technique will be short and quick. And that's what you want. Fast techniques have power. Slow techniques don't have power. Okay, so when you breathe really short and really quick and stop suddenly, that helps you to finish your movements really quickly and suddenly. Okay, when we do this, we tighten up our tummy muscles. So what I want you to do right now is just put your fingers on your tummy and breathe in. And when you breathe out, I want you to tighten your tummy up. So it's your tummy that's forcing out the air. It is not your mouth doing the work. It's your tummy doing the work. So breathe in. Breathe out. So you tighten your tummy and use that to push the air out of your mouth. And then if you make a little shape with your mouth, that's when you get that sharp pursing sound. That sound. It's because my mouth is nice and small. And that's going to make it fast and hard. If I make my mouth big, then I'm more likely to pass out because I'm not going to get enough oxygen. Right? So I'll make my mouth small, tighten up my tummy. Just try that. When you do it, you should be able to hit your tummy super hard and it won't hurt at all. Your tummy's nice and tight just when you breathe out. Okay, this is called abdominal breathing. Now, quite commonly when you're at school, when somebody tells you to take a deep breath, for some reason we all start doing this. And that's not actually a deep breath, because when you breathe, of course, your oxygen goes, the air goes into your lungs. Your lungs are about this big. Up in the top part of your lungs, you have your chest, your rib cage. So the lungs can't get very big up here. But down here, they don't have that constraint. Your tummy can get large when you breathe in. So when you breathe in, you want to make your chest and your tummy nice and big, but leave your shoulders where they are. So try that. Try and take a deep breath. Make your tummy big. And then breathe out sharp and tighten your tummy up. Deep breath, make your tummy big. And then tighten out and breathe out. Okay, that's how we breathe in Taekwon-Do. When you breathe in, you make your tummy big using a muscle around here called your diaphragm. That muscle makes your tummy get nice and big and use as much space in your lungs as possible. And then when you breathe out, you use your tummy muscles to push it back in and force all the air out quickly, and that makes your movements really quick. Okay, now, so that's the breathing we should be doing all the time. Now, standing up, I'm going to show you the next kick sideways first. So we're still doing our walking ready stance here. But this time we're going to do that back piercing kick we did first. So from here, I'm going to come onto one foot, lift my foot up, look over the shoulder and crouch over, pierce out, and then come back to my stance. So like this. Okay, everybody ready? Make it good and soggy. From here, ha! Look over the shoulder where you're kicking. Do. Tip. Net. Taso. Yaso. And change feet. Other leg. Hana. Two. Set. Just keep your hands out at the side and look over your shoulder. Net. That'll help you with your balance. Taso. Yaso. And baro. So the front snap kick is called a front snap kick because your target is in front of you. The back piercing kick is called a back piercing kick because your target is behind you. To the back. Often in class, we're not going to do this now, but when we do a back piercing kick, we'll often do it from the sideways position, from our stance, turning around and kicking to the front. This way. We'll often do back piercing kick like that. But we're not going to do that right now. Okay. Anunsa jirugi. Or anunjumbisogi, sorry. Anunjumbisogi. From here, we're going to do side piercing kick. So I'm going to step to my other foot, pivot, lean over, lift my leg up, and then pierce out, and then step down into my sitting stance. Other way, pivot my supporting foot, lean over, lift my leg and foot, pierce out, and down into your sitting stance. Now, if you're limited for space, you can change your angle a little bit, or you can just do one side all the time, and then we'll change the other side halfway through. So from here, ready, hana. Two. Keep your hands controlled, keep your guard nice and tight. Set. Net. Taso. Yaso. Ilgo. Yado. Aho. Yo. Relax. And I'm sure you figured out that it's a side piercing kick because your opponent is to the side. Front kick to the front, back kick to the back, side kick to the side. Okay, give me a little drink. Now you've probably noticed the difference between how the piercing kicks feel. The back piercing kick and the side piercing kick feel different from the front snap kick. They've got different jobs. The piercing kicks stamp. And so when we do them, quite often you extend them right out, you hold them for a split second and then pull them back again. Your snap kicks don't do that at all. They just snap straight out and back. So I'll show you, just to remind you, front snap kick, straight out and back piercing kick, pauses for a split second. It's more of a stamping motion than a smashing motion. Okay, so 3 of the basic kicks. Now, let's see forward direction punch. Parallel ready, Saju. Beat. Come on, Taekwon-Do, Mikade. Get some space. You need space for forward direction punch. From here, right side first. Ha! Check that you've got your train tracks for your feet. Both feet are straight ahead. Hips are straight, shoulders are straight, punches shoulder height into the middle of your body. Crossing the hand that's on the hips goes on top. Go. Now check your stance. Train tracks, both feet straight ahead. Cool, that's looking much better. Good. Forward and punch. Hips and shoulders straight. Train tracks for your feet. Dasa. Check the feet. Yasa. Ilgo. Yano. Check your feet. And bottle. Okay. We'll repeat the right side again. This time I'm not going to count. I'm just going to watch. Forward direction punch. Right side. Beat. Jimmy just means ready. Now check after each movement that your hips and shoulders are nice and straight. And you've got the width of your stance correct with both feet pointing forwards. Right side. Shi-jok. Go. Shi-jok means start. Punch to the center. You guide to the next movement. Crossing on top. Keep going, just go in your own time. Correct each movement. Good. Check the stance now. Correct the stance. Back foot forward, a little bit less sideways. So hips and shoulders straight. Good, Cohen, you're self-correcting very well. That's excellent. Other hand on your hip, Franz. Pull it back a little bit. And butt all. Okay, now let's do the left side. My count. Ha! Hips and shoulders nice and straight. Remember when you turn, you're doing a knee spring for your sine wave. Down, up, down. Crossing your blocking hand on top. Okay, do. And now the punch. Sit. Maybe your punches don't cross. Net. Check your stance, train tracks. Dasa. Yasa. Ilga. And butthole. Now the left side without my count. No count from me, just in your own time. Ready, left side. Yes, up. Check your stance, correct your stance each time. Good. Watch the angles of your feet, particularly when you step back. Make sure you've got your train tracks. Okay. And bottle. Shot. Okay. Saju makgi. Now, just before we do this, we're just going to do some practicing of the blocks in parallel stance. So first up, our knife hand low block. Remember, your blocking hand crosses on top of the other hand, like you're smashing two watches together. Forearm low block is the same. So from here, just do the same side, opening your hand to block with your knife hand, crossing on top, smashing two watches together. Mikaere, come on, let's go. Switch them over the other way, Colin. So the one that's blocking goes on top. The one that's blocking goes on top. Okay, so if you're blocking with your right hand's on top. Go, go. That's it. Don't rush it, Mikaere. Try and correct your finish position. Now try the other side. Good. Okay, relax. So your forearm low block and your knife hand low block both cross the same way. Okay. There's a little bit of a difference in where the starting position is, but you don't have to worry about that at this point. Okay. The inner forearm middle block that we do in saju makgi, because it uses the inside of the arm, not the outside of the arm, the crossing is different. My other hand still does the same thing. It's like a bad punch. Okay. My blocking hand goes underneath it with both hands pointing downwards. Okay, both hands down. I keep this up in front of my chest, so my blocking hand's on the outside, and then come across with my block. Crossing in front of your chest. So try that now. Franz, make sure both of your hands are pointing down when you cross. Both hands are pointing down when you cross. So turn the other hand over, Cohen. Both hands down. Both hands down. Both hands down. Both hands with your fingers towards the ground. That's it. Yes. Now the one that's blocking goes under, which is good. Go. Yes. But turn it over so you're blocking with the inside of your arm. So both of your hands will twist. That's it. When you block, in almost all cases, we do it so that both of our hands twist. That's it. That's a tangaro. Good. Now try the other side. This time the other hand is underneath, both fingers pointing towards the ground. But bring your cross up in front of your chest, cross in front of your badge, so your block comes across. Don't cross down in front of your belt where your block comes upward. It's not as effective. Here, I'm protecting my body, and then I can block outwards. Protect, block, protect, block. Okay, hands up. Cross in front of your badge, cross under, block and twist. That's it. Good. Awesome. So now, I'm going to test you. Knife hand low block, inner forearm middle block. Knife hand low block, inner forearm middle block. Make sure you take your time and get your crossing right. Knife hand low block, inner forearm middle block. Knife hand low block, inner forearm middle block. Both of them cross up in front of my chest. Don't cross in front of your belt, cross in front of your chest. Although the knife hand low block crosses a little bit further across, but we won't worry about that just yet. This sort of practicing, crossing like this is something you can practice when you're watching Netflix at home. sitting down on the couch, just quietly and softly, not trying to worry about too much power, just getting the technique right. Now let's do the other side. Knife hand low block, in a forearm middle block. Knife hand low block, in a forearm middle block. Knife hand low block, in a forearm middle block. Oh, sorry, I should be changing arms. My fault. Knife hand low block, in a forearm middle block. Knife hand low block, in a forearm middle block. Good. Okay, relax. Now, can everyone point to me to your right side? Point to your right. Okay. Now, is that your right side or is that your left side? Thumbs up if it's your right side. What I'm pointing to. I'm pointing to your right. Okay, good. So we're going to move our right foot first. Parallel ready stance. We're going to step back. Do the knife hand low block. Go. Crossing on top. Try your crossing again. Make sure you cross on top. Up. Go on. Cross the other way. That's it. Now go forward. Cross underneath. And a forearm middle block. Up. Yeah, there we go. Both fingers downwards, remember. Now we're going to go straight back. Cross on top and do the knife hand low block again. Check the stance. Both feet forwards. Train tracks. And try that crossing again. Make sure you're crossing on top. Up. There we go. That's it. Good. Go on. And now put it underneath for the inner forearm middle block. Both fingers downwards. The hand that's on hip goes on top. Knife hand low block. On top, going. Yes. Now check your train tracks. Now underneath. On top. Take your time and feel it. Check each time that you've got the crossing right. Check it. Make sure it's on top. Underneath for the middle block. On top for the low block. Other way, Cohen. Yes. Okay, just do that a few times. On top, ask. On top for the low block, underneath for the middle block. Check each time that you're getting your crossing right. Come on, Franz, you need to work on this too. I've seen your crossing, young man. There we go. And relax. Now let's do the other side. Ready. On top, knife hand low block. That's it. Underneath, and for a middle block. On top, low block. Underneath, 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 middle block. On top, low block. Come on, Franz. Underneath, middle block. On top, low block. Underneath, middle block. And butt off. Good. Okay. And relax. Now we'll go one through saju makgi and think about that crossing because it's just like we just practiced. So we'll do the right side first, right foot back, up, knife hand low block. Underneath, middle block. Now we take our little turn, low block. Forward, middle block. Little turn, low block. Underneath, middle block. So Taekwon-Do and makgi, when you're doing the little turn, just pivot on your feet. And then you can do your low block. Go. And then forward, middle block. And butt on. Now the other side. This one, stepping back with this foot, low block. Underneath, middle block. Little turn. Step back, low block. Forward, middle block. little turn, back, low block, forward, middle block, little turn, back, low block, forward, middle block, and bubble. Good. And sit it out, left leg out. So it's really important when you're learning patterns and those fundamental movements that you practice them like that. Take your time, get your crossing right, get your stepping right. Don't go too fast too soon. Okay, bring the other leg over the top and turn. So practice that crossing. As I say, a really good way of practicing that is when you're sitting on the couch watching Netflix. It's a really good time just to cross and block and check that you're crossing correctly. And once you're confident that you've got the crossing correctly, do the same side lots of times, just slowly, because that creates muscle memory. Okay, so your brain just automatically knows which way to cross when you've done it hundreds and hundreds of times without thinking. Okay, so you do the same side again and again and again. Check that it's right every so often and keep doing it. And then change sides after you've done one side lots and lots of times. Okay, so make sure you keep checking. Yeah, Franz, it's a really good way to learn your Sanpo Makmaki. But when you're doing your Sanpo Makmaki, Franz, remember the hand that's on top is the one that goes forward. The one on top goes forward. The one underneath goes up. Okay, yes, good. Okay, switch legs. The one on top, Mr. B, goes forward. The top one goes forward. The underneath one goes up. Yeah, it's a tricky one. So when you're watching Netflix practicing that one, sit a little bit sideways on the couch so you can feel that the front hand's going forward rather than sitting straight ahead like this. Sit a little bit sideways so you know which one's going forward so you don't get your hands mixed up. Franz, yeah, you can unmute and ask the question if you have a question.
We don't have Netflix.
Oh. That's okay, Franz. Whatever you, if you have a television and you're watching movies or TV in some way, that's what I mean. It might be television, TVNZ on demand, it might be Disney Plus, whatever it is. It might be YouTube. These are things you can practice when you're watching and not doing anything with your hands. Okay, both legs forwards. Put your toes up towards the ceiling. Reach up to the sky and then lean yourself forwards. Okay, so remember, guys, next week we've got classes on Zoom every day at 5 o'clock. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tangaroa Mikaere, your mum's welcome to come to those classes as well at 5 o'clock. So you can all come to the 5 o'clock ones. Mr. B, you might prefer the 6 o'clock class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Feel free to come to the 5 o'clock ones on the other days if you want to. It's entirely up to you. And Mrs. O can come along as well to your classes. Whatever classes are easiest for her, she's welcome to come to. So do as many of these classes as you like. Heels in. And pulling your legs down. The key thing with it, we're going to find out on Monday whether or not this lockdown is extended. I expect it probably will be. So I'll let everyone know when we're back in the dojang. Until we're back in the dojang, we have these classes. So 5 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, essentially for our junior grades, under yellow belt and our kids, and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 for our seniors. Plus, of course, the Saturday class, as you know. So Mikaere and Tangaora, you can come along to your regular classes. They're just 1 hour earlier on Zoom, okay? So, and your mum as well. Mondays and Thursdays at 5. You can do the other classes as well. If you want to break from your schoolwork at 5 o'clock, do some training, come along to a class. Okay, lie down on your back. Push your heels up towards the ceiling. Grab your trousers, keep your legs straight, and hang your legs open. Keep those heels pointing out. That'll help keep your legs straight. And then just let the legs hang open. If you hang on to your trousers, it's easier to hold them where they are. You can relax your legs and let the gravity help your legs stretch out. If mum and dad let you do it, and you put a towel under for each of your feet, it can be really good to do this with your bottom against the wall and just let your legs hang out. But make sure you've got something on your feet to keep so you don't mark the wall, and make sure you ask mum and dad first. Then you can just sit here for half an hour and read a book. Really good. Okay, closing up your legs. Bend them up. And from here, we're going to put our hands on the ground, like our hands and knees, and then try and put our feet flat on the floor. One foot stretching the calf, other foot can relax. One leg nice and straight. When you're stretching, you breathe deeply and slowly. So you don't do that sharp breath like we practiced before. You do a slow, relaxed breath. In and out. Still using your tummy though. And change feet. And slowly standing up. Here, one leg behind. If you've got a cushion or a soft floor, a really nice way to do the stretch is like this. Get a really nice stretch in the quadriceps like this. But on a hard floor, it really hurts your knees, so don't do it on a hard floor. Okay, and change legs. And relax. Okay, there's one thing I want to show you before we finish up. Let me just share my screen. Remember, while we are at home, we've got lots of resources on our website. Okay, so one of the first things that I recommend you do is under members on our glendowrie.com, go to members and syllabus sheets and resources, and there's little videos there of all of the things you need to know. So there's for white belts, there's videos of all the movements you need to know. There's videos of 4-direction punch and 4-direction block. For yellow stripes, there's videos of Chonji as well, plus all the movements you need to know, and 3-step sparring alone. Yellow belts, again, there's some good videos of your pattern and stuff. So really good stuff in here. If you want something just to keep busy, then there's some cool home activities here, some activity sheets where you got little exercises to learn bits about Taekwondo with fun little activities like word finds and stuff. And then these resources are useful to learn some more of the technical stuff about Taekwondo, like the philosophy and the theory of power and some really cool stuff like that. So that's all under syllabus sheets and resources. And then recorded classes has got a whole bunch of pre-recorded classes just like this one. So as we do them, I record them. It's just me that you can see in the recording, and it shows me up on screen demonstrating the stuff and talking about what we're doing. So if you want to do some extra training while you're locked at home, just put on a class, pop it on your TV and do some training at home. Okay. Thanks for coming today, guys. Nice to see you all. I'll look forward to seeing you during the week in our Saturday and our weekday classes.
Thank you. Oh, wait.
And Kelly, what? Thanks, guys. See you next week. Keep safe and make sure you're helping mum and dad. Remember, lockdowns are hard for mum and dad as well, so make sure you're helping out and not being a little bit annoying. Thanks, guys. Do your best.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.